shoulder internal rotation, connective tissue activation. We're going to do the progressive side of your shoulder. So the progressive, as we internally rotate, the progressive side is the top side because that's the side getting larger. Easiest way to do this is, to be honest, you can either do it seated or you can do it in a sleeper position. So I'll show you the sleeper position first. What you're going to be doing is you're just going to basically lay down. Make sure that get your shoulder blade, scapula and shoulder back. I don't want your shoulder out here because then as we move, it's just your whole shoulder joint moving. So scap back, nice and back here. And then what we're going to do is, let's just say for argument's sake, you're getting to the end of your active range here. What we want to do is we want to bring this tissue online. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the band resistance for it. So you'll be in this position. I'd highly recommend having like a yoga block or a foam roller or something there as a pillow. But basically you're just going to wrap this band around behind your hand, probably only just a single wrap here. And then what you're going to do is slowly with this hand, just start pulling down really slowly. And what's going to happen is the tissue at the back of your shoulder, that's the tissue that like sort of stops that movement. What I want you to do is, as you start feeling the resistance from the band, this tissue should be matching that resistance. So I don't want you shouldn't activate too hard so you're pulling out. You shouldn't be going too much. It's just matching that resistance to stay still. So at the moment, it's not doing anything. As I pull a tiny bit, I can feel it. I want to get up to about a 20 or 30% effort to start with, but your program will say. What that means is if I pull any harder, it becomes 50% to hold still if it's blood. But what I want to do is just make sure you, as you do this, don't like pull so hard. Just go nice and slow and feel. So this is a lot about the sensation. Can you feel that tissue, sort of what's called stress stiffening at the back, to start holding still? If you can, perfect. And that's what we're doing. We're teaching that tissue how to work, teaching you how to access it and how it feels. And then if you're doing a connective tissue architecture version of this, you'll also be holding this for a couple of minutes. Good luck. If that goes for a couple of minutes, you probably need to do it in breaks. So you just do it until you get tired and you can have a rest, and that's fine, and go back again. So that's your shoulder internal rotation, progressive side. Enjoy. Oh, actually, I'll show you another one. Sorry. Basically the same thing seated is I just sit up here and I kind of use my own leg as a shelf. So put my arm up there. I don't put my arm on top of my knee. I put it just on the inside a little bit. So I've got a little bit of lateral force. So I'm just here. Once again, I'll come down to my whatever range. Let's say I'm doing in my active range. I actually kind of wrap this around the back of my wrist and then up underneath the palm, hold. And then I'll start pulling, or just have it under your wrist here. And now I'll just start pulling down really, really gently, just slowly increasing the intensity so that that tissue has the opportunity to just match it, to make sure that it stays still. And you should feel all these tissues, what's called stress stiffening. Enjoy. If you've got any questions about this, obviously make sure to ask.